Hi, everyone. Welcome, and today we are going to be learning how to hand knit a flower pillow. So I would call this a star pillow or a flower pillow. It could really go either way. I could see you doing this all in one color and making like a little Mario star or something, or maybe a Patrick if you're into SpongeBob. So this is a hand knit class, and this is actually going to be more of an intermediate hand knit class. So if you've never hand knit before, I do have some good resources for you to get started. So we've had a couple of classes where I've taught how to hand knit a blanket, like this blanket that's behind me. So you're welcome to watch that and just learn some of the basics of how to knit and how to purl. I've also taught a couple classes on how to hand knit a heart-shaped pillow, which is a little bit more simple than a 5-petal flower. So if you're starting to feel overwhelmed with the flower, you can try the heart shape. You can also try another video that I already have for Michael's up on the Michael's YouTube channel, which is how to make a hand knit bunny too. So a bunny is just going to be a circle with the cute little bunny ears. So all of those classes are great places for you to start and learn some of the basics of hand knitting. I don't know if those of you who are here with me live are going to try and follow along and make with me. So maybe let me know in the chat if you are making with me so I can kind of make sure that I'm matching your pace and making sure that I'm explaining everything so that you can do it with me. Those of you who are watching later on YouTube, or those of you who are just kind of watching and will craft later, the whole entire project will probably take you either an hour and a half to possibly 2 hours to make the whole entire thing. What we're going to do is we're going to make a flower on the front, we're going to make a flower on the back, and then we're going to sew them together in order to make this three-dimensional fluffy pillow. So we're not going to have time in the 1 hour class to do the whole entire thing, but those of you who are crafting along with me, we will be able to make at least one side of the two-sided um, the two-sided pillow, and I will show you how to close them together and how to finish it up. So we'll do a little bit of movie magic towards the end so that we can make sure we get the whole entire project finished. And then you can always go back and watch this video and figure out how to do the whole process again to make the back, and then you will be good to go. So it looks like in the chat, some of you all are moms taking care of kids. And right now, the end of May is like the parent Olympics of going to all the things and all the award ceremonies and all the graduations and all the things. So when you have a moment to take a moment for yourself, I hope that you enjoy some hand knitting. So we only need a few things. Yes, watching with your kids, welcome. So we only need a couple of things to do our project today. I picked 2 colors of yarn. So one of the chunky hand knit yarns to go in the center of my flower can be whatever color you choose. And I have one color that I'm going to use for the petals. Now, today I'm using the Bernat Blanket Big, which is a really thick, chunky yarn. And it also comes in, let me see, 32 yards. So it's a lot of yarn to work with too. So I'm going to be able to get my flower done with just these 2 skeins. But if you have a different brand of yarn, or if you have a different kind of yarn, you might have different yardage. So you might not have as much, and you might need one more or maybe even half a skein more in order to finish your whole project. But you'll find out pretty quickly whether or not you need that. Michaels also has a brand of yarn called Cozy Blanket. So Cozy Blanket isn't currently running in the stores, but a lot of stores still have it on the shelves. I love, love, love this golden color. So this would make a really cool center of your flower also. So if you see any Cozy Blanket, that's another good yarn for you to use. But you're looking for a jumbo yarn that has a 7 on it, letting you know that that's a chunky yarn and that's something that's going to be good for you to hand knit with. You're also going to need a little bit of polyfill. And the little bit of polyfill is just going to be able to poof up your pillow and make it nice and comfy for you to lay on. So I created a pattern, but if any of you are true knitters, you will notice that this pattern probably doesn't look like a normal knitting pattern. And that is because I'm just learning how to make these patterns myself. And so I've kind of written it in a way that makes sense to me. And I'm hoping that it makes sense to you too. So let's go ahead and switch over to my other camera. And if you get lost at any point, you can find us on Instagram at Learn with Michaels. And my own personal Instagram is at 4M Coleman. I have a couple of tutorials in my story highlights where I show you how to make a slip knot and how to do a chain stitch. So if you truly are a beginner and you haven't ever hand knit before, you might need a couple of those extra handholds. So here is what the pattern looks like, and I'm going to keep the pattern on the screen. This is a PDF that Felicia is going to drop into the chat, and it's also going to be available underneath the YouTube video. So even if you don't catch the pattern right now, you can always catch it once we upload it onto YouTube, and then you can try and follow along with it as you go. So we're making a hand knit flower pillow, and the first thing that we're going to need to do is make a slip knot with that innermost color. So I'm going to do gray on the center of my flower, and I'm going to do some blue petals. So with my yarn, I'm going to go ahead and take off that paper, and I'm going to find the end of my yarn. Whoop, there it is. And we're going to make ourselves a slip knot. So with the slip knot, we want to leave a tail. This is the tail in my picture. And we are going to make a tail. And in order to make a slip knot, I like to hold my fingers pointing towards me. And then I'm going to drape this yarn. This side that's not attached to the skein that has the tail is called the tail. This side that is attached to the big ball of yarn, which is called a skein, is called the working yarn. So here's the working yarn on my left side, and here is the tail on my right side. I'm leaving a little bit of this space right here. My hand is facing towards me, and I'm going to twist my hand. So I'm twisting my hand, and then I'm going to use my pinchers and grab the working yarn. So I have my hand towards me. I've draped my yarn. I have this extra bit of tail. I'm going to twist my fingers backwards. I'm going to pinch with my pinchers, and I'm going to pull through, and I'm going to create the slip knot. So if you need extra help with that slip knot, there is some extra help on my Instagram, which is 4M Coleman. And then what we're going to do now that we have our slip knot is we're going to chain 8. So if you've never chained before, there's another tutorial there on the Instagram. But the way that I'm going to chain is I'm always going to use my pincher fingers, and I'm going to go through the loop and grab some of the working yarn with my pinchers. So I'm going to grab this working yarn and pull it through the loop to create a new loop. Then I'm going to put my pincher fingers through that loop, grab some more working yarn, and pull it through. So I'm going to do that one more time. Here's my slip knot. And you can do this flat on a table, or you can do it holding it like I'm doing right now. I'm putting my pinchers through the slip knot, grabbing yarn, pulling it through. Going through, that was one chain, grabbing yarn, pulling it through. That's 2. You can see these V's that we're creating. Grab yarn, pull it through, 3. Grab yarn, pull it through, 4. Grab yarn, pull it through, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, the reason why this flower is a little bit more challenging, if you've done the heart pillow or if you've done the bunny pillow or even a blanket, the reason why it's a little bit more challenging is because it's going to be done in the round, and it's also going to have all those different petals, which are going to be a little bit more complicated too. So this is definitely an intermediate project. So if you're following along so far, you are doing well. I'm going to take this tail, and I'm going to put the tail through the loop, this last stitch that I have right here on my fingers. I'm putting the tail through, and I'm making kind of like a headband. So with these 8 stitches, I've put them into a ring. And then I am going to pull on the slip knot to tighten that last stitch around the tail to really kind of close that off into a ring. So now that I have this ring, I've tightened that last stitch in order to form a ring. This is where we're at. You should have a circle with a tail, and right now we still have our working yarn attached to it. You can see the next part, what we're going to do is we're going to pull through the ring, and we're going to pull a loop through that. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do before we do it together. This is what we're about to do. We're about to pull loops around the ring so you can kind of see all those yarns that are coming out from the center. And then each one of those that come out are going to have their own loop. And that's how we're eventually going to start building out those petals. So the way that we're going to create this is we're going to wrap the yarn around the ring to create this part right here. And then once we've wrapped it around the ring, we're going to pull a loop out of that. And that's going to create the stitch that we can build upon. So if you've ever done macrame, this is a lot like a lark's head knot. So if you've ever done a lark's head knot before on any macrame or kind of bracelet projects, you might know how to do this already. So here's my tail, and here's my working yarn. It's underneath my ring. I'm going to reach inside the ring, and I'm going to pull some yarn up. So see how I pulled a loop up and it had those two pieces of yarn right here creating that loop? Then I'm going to take the working yarn and I'm going to pull another loop through there. So I wrapped the first part around the ring, around the whole entire ring, and then I put a loop through that loop. And that loop is just going to kind of hang out here because we're going to make 10 of them all the way around the circle. And that's how we're going to build out our flower. So I'm going to, again, pull. And notice how this is wrapping all the way around the ring. And then once I have this loop coming around my ring, I'm going to grab a little bit more of that working yarn and pull it through. And I'm going to make my second stitch. Now, in order to make our 5-petal flower, I'm going to need 10 stitches all the way around. If you wanted to have a flower that had 6 petals instead of 5 petals, you could make 12 loops instead of the 10 that we're going to do. So you can kind of mess with the pattern and make it larger or make it different, but this is the version we're going to do with 5 petals. So far I have 1, 2. What's nice about this ring and these little stitches that are kind of wrapped around it is that you can smush those stitches to the side to make sure that you can fit all 10 of them in your circle. So I'm going to pull another loop through the ring and that wrapped around. I'm going to pull a stitch through that loop and I have 3 stitches so far. I'm going to keep going around this ring and I'm going to make all 10. So here's the 4th one. I went around the ring and then I pulled a loop to make 4. I went around the ring, pulled a loop of the working yarn to make 5. Around the ring, 6. Give myself some more working yarn. Around the ring, 7. Around the ring, 8. Around the ring, 9. And if you're out of space, you can move these around. They do slide around pretty nicely on that ring because they're just loops. And then my 10th one, I'm back to my tail, so I'm at the end. Here is the 10th one. And I've made 10 loops. So now that I've made these 10 loops and I have this really cool inside that has this nice part, that's going to be a nice beginning for your petal. And you'll notice that with your flower, this eventually gets pulled together. So you're not always going to have that hole in the middle of your pillow. We are going to draw string and pull that in together later, but we're not going to do that quite yet. So here we go. We have our 10 stitches and now we're ready to switch colors. So I'm going to take my blue color, which is going to be my petal color, and I'm going to unwind it a bit. And I am going to actually leave the tail, but I'm going to cut from the gray yarn, from that last of the 10 loops I just did. And I'm cutting that gray off, and I am going to connect my new color, my blue color, using a knot. So I'm going to try and tie the knot as close to this last loop as I can. And it's just going to be a normal square knot where you go over top and cross over. And I'm gonna pull this pretty tight if I can. And if I can get one more crossover, I can. And now that I've pulled that nice and tight to change that color, I'm gonna go back with my scissors. And I'm going to trim that down. So someone's asking in the Zoom about a large bag, but I'm not sure what you're asking. So if you have another question, let me know. Here's my tail. Here's my new color. And I'm about to start going around to each one of these loops. And I'm going to pull a new stitch through each one of these 10. So where we are in the pattern is we pulled a loop through the ring. So we wrapped it around the ring and then we pulled a stitch through that loop. And that's what created these 10 gray loops that we have right now. And then we repeated that 9 times in order to create this ring that has 10 stitches coming out of it. So I don't know how you got 10 loops from 9 stitches. The first one and then 9 more is how you get the 10. So we did this and then we repeated that same step 9 times. So altogether we have 10 stitches. I'm answering questions in the chat as we go. Okay, so we cut and tied on the new color and then we trimmed around the knot to make it kind of the same width as the yarn we already have. And then what we're about to do is we're about to start going around and we are going to pull 1 stitch through each one of those loops. So we're going to make 10 blue stitches all the way around. So here we go. Here's my first one. Here's my tail. I'm going to put my pinchers through and grab a loop of yarn and pull it up and over. And I'm going to keep turning my pillow around, turning that circle with all those stitches. And I'm going to keep pulling loops through each one of these stitches. And you can count as you go, or you can count when you get to the end to double check. My yarn just fell off my table. There we go. And make sure that you have 10. So I'm going to double check my blue, make sure that I have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now that we have that, we are on to page 2 of our pattern. So page 2 says that next we're going to increase to 20 stitches. So we're going to put 2 stitches into each one of our blue loops in order to create a total of 20. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take 4 of the stitches at a time in order to break them into the 5 petals. So you're going to notice that I did a little bit of math here, where the reason why we did 10 stitches was so that we could double it and turn it into 20. And then I knew that 20 would be a number that would break us into 5 different petals. So if you want to do a different number of petals, like I said before, if you want to do 12 stitches and turn them into 24, then your 4 stitches could give you 6 petals instead of 5. So just a way to kind of adapt the pattern if you want to make more petals. So now we're going to increase the stitches and go 2 stitches into each one of these loops. So that is a little bit tricky. So what we're going to do is we are going to pull 1 stitch up and we're going to push 1 stitch back into each one of these loops. So what I mean by that is first we pull a stitch the way we normally would. But now what's going to happen is you're going to push 1 through. So instead of pulling up, you're going to be wrapping around and you're going to be pushing that working yarn back. So you pulled a loop towards you. So I'll do it again. Here's me pulling a loop towards me. And then this one is going to go through and you're going to push it backwards. So you've kind of made like a little bow on the original stitch and you've turned that 1 stitch into 2 different stitches. So we're going to increase each one of these loops by doing that same thing. So here's the next one. I'm going to pull up and then I'm going to push this one back and make another little sweet bow. We're going to go all the way around until we have all 20 of these stitches. So I'm going to pull up and I'm going to push back. And I'm going to keep turning my work as I go and giving myself plenty of working yarn. And then I'm going to push back Here we go. Pull up and push back. And this is one of those steps that can be a little bit tricky. So if you want to watch this video again later and you need to rewind it or pause it or watch it again and again until you understand, that is absolutely okay. And keep turning it around, pulling one up and pushing one back. And we're doing that through each loop, creating 20 stitches out of the 10 we originally had. Pulling up, pushing back, pulling up, pushing back. And this can be really relaxing once you get in the rhythm. I think this is back to my beginning. I have one more. Here's my tail, so I knew I was back at the beginning. Pull one up and push one back. Now I am going to go through these 20 and I'm going to pull one stitch through each one of those 20 to make one more round of a circle. So I'm going in this direction still. And I'm going to go through each one and pull it up and pull up and pull up. Oops, this one came undone. So since this one came undone, I'm pulling up and I'm pushing back. There we go. Now I have my 2 again. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to go all the way up to 20. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So now I have 20 stitches all the way around. And these 20 stitches, I am going to break into 5 sections. So if you have 20 stitches that you're breaking into 5 sections, that means you're going to work with 4 stitches at a time. And what we're going to do is each one of those 4 stitches are going to kind of come up to a point and make a petal. So we're going to stitch 4, we're going to stitch 4, and then I'm going to show you how to decrease and decrease and decrease until you get to 1. And that's going to make that entire petal shape. So what we're going to do is we're only going to focus on 4 of the loops at a time, and that's going to make one whole petal. Then we'll move on to the next 4 loops, and that'll make the next petal. And we'll keep going until we have all 5 of our petals. So once we get to the next 4 stitches, here's what it tells you to do. Once we see which 4 we're using, we're going to stitch the next 4. And what that means is just pull a loop, pull a loop, pull a loop, pull a loop. Then we're going to stitch going backwards the other direction. And then we're going to decrease, 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 and then we're going to be at the point and we're going to be done. So to show you before we do it, this is where we're going. So we're going to be doing 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to tie that off and leave a little bit of yarn. And this is what's going to help us stitch the front and the back of the pillow together. So 4 stitches, here we go. Let me make sure that I'm in the right place. Here's where my working yarn is. Here's where I left off. So I'm going to go to these 4 stitches and I'm going to make a petal right here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to stitch going in this direction. So I'm going to put my working yarn behind the 4 stitches I just did. So it's going in this direction. And I'm going to pull a loop through each one of those 4, just going in the other direction this time. 3, 4. Now the next step says to decrease this direction down to 3. So we have 4 petals or 4 loops, and the way you're going to decrease is by stacking one stitch on top of the other, and you're going to change those 2 stitches into just 1. So if you have all four, you pick up the first stitch, put it on top of the second stitch, and then you can sneak your pinchers through and grab some working yarn to turn that into one stitch. Here's the second, and here's the third. So we decreased down to 3 stitches. Now I'm going to go in the opposite direction, and I'm going to put my yarn underneath, my working yarn, and I'm going to decrease to 2, which means I'm going to put this stitch on top of this stitch and combine those into one stitch by pulling a loop up through both of them. And then I'm going to pull a stitch over here, and I have decreased down to 2. And then the last step of making the petal is to decrease down to 1. So put the right hand loop on top of the left hand loop, pull up a loop of the working yarn, and then I'm going to cut a tail about 6 to 8 inches. And I am going to take this tail and go through my last loop and pull this knot nice and tight. Sometimes this yarn snaps, so be careful when you're pulling it tight. And I'm going to leave this tail because this is going to help me be able to attach the front and the back of the pillow together. So I've just finished one of the 5 petals of my flower. And now I'm going to move over to the next 4 stitches, and I'm going to turn these 4 stitches into their own petal. So we cut off the yarn, but now I'm going to go back to the yarn that was cut off. I'm going to leave a little bit of tail over here, and I'm going to pull up my first loop. I'm not tying any knots. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm literally just leaving this loose string right here, pulling up this first loop. And remember that the pattern was to stitch 4, stitch 4, and then decrease 3, decrease to 2, decrease to 1, pull your knot. So here we go. We're going in this direction and we're stitching 4. 1. Did I already pull that? I think I did. Yep. I forgot I had already pulled that. So here's the tail, leaving a little bit of space, pulling up this first loop. 1, 2, 3, 4. I stitched 4. Now I'm going to go in this direction and I'm going to stitch 4 more. So putting my working yarn going in the right direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to decrease to 3. So I'm going to put this first loop on top of the second loop, and I'm going to pull yarn through both of those in order to decrease. 1, 2, 3. Going this way, I'm going to decrease to 2. So I'm going to put this loop on top of this loop, and I'm going to pull through and get 1, 2, and then I'm going to decrease to 1 by putting this loop on top of this loop and pulling through. I'm going to cut about 6 to 8 inches of a tail. I'm going to put that tail through that last loop to kind of tie it off. I'm going to pull it and leave that tail to help me with my sewing. And I have made 2 petals already of my 5-petal flower. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to do these 4, and I'm going to keep repeating the same pattern. So once you get the hang of this, it'll start becoming easier and easier, but it can be tricky at the beginning. So give yourself some time and some grace to figure it out. Here's the tail. I'm going to leave some extra yarn over here. I'm going to pull 1, 2, 3, 4. So I stitched my 4. I'm going to go in the other direction and stitch 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to decrease to 3, this on top of this. 1, 2, 3. This on top of this, and I'm going to decrease to 2. this on top of this, and that helps me to decrease down to just 2 stitches. And this on top of this decreases me down to 1 and helps me finish my 3rd petal. Cutting my tail, putting the tail through, and pulling gently but firmly. I have 2 more petals left. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is perfect. This petal and this petal. And then I'll be done with the front of my pillow. And I'll show you how to close this circle up, and I'll show you how to sew those 2 pieces together in order to create your pillow. Tail, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I hope those of you who are going along with me are doing okay. Holler in the chat if you need some help. 1, 2, 3, 4. Decreasing to 3. This on top of this. Pull through both. 1, 2, 3. About to decrease down to 2. This on top of this. 1, 2. Decrease down to 1. This on top of this. 1. Cut the tail. Put it through that last loop and gently pull. Now again, this is the pattern that I've come up with for your flower, but if you want to keep going and make each petal longer, instead of starting your decrease, you can stitch 4, stitch 4, stitch 4. You can stitch 4 as long as you want to make a really nice long petal, or you can slow down on the decreases. You can decrease to 3, then stitch 3, then decrease to 2, stitch 2, decrease to 1, stitch 1. You can elongate any of your petals if you want to do a different variation of the same pattern. I'm on my last petal. I have a little bit more of a tail, leaving it off to the side, and I'm going to pull 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what I just did, stitched 4. Going in the other direction, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to decrease down to 3. This on top of this. Decrease 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to decrease down to 2. This on top of this. 1, 2. Decrease down to 1. And cut my tail. And I have a flower. And I hope that you do too. I hope that it's something that you're pretty proud of. I'm pretty proud of this. I'm thinking it's looking really good. And like I said, if you would really want to like go for it and make it a star on purpose instead of a flower with these 4 petals, it really could go either way. It makes for an awesome star, or it makes for an awesome flower. If you wanted 6 petals instead of 5, that would be cool too. So how many of the blue skeins do you need? I still have about half a skein left. I honestly have been able to make the whole entire pillow with just 1 skein of blue and 1 skein of gray. It's tight, but I have been able to do it. So if your stitches are a little bit bigger than mine, you might accidentally pour over into a second skein, but you will not need more than 2 skeins to make both the front and the back. You should be fine with just 1 or 2 skeins of the petals. I'm about to flip this over and show you a couple things. So first of all, I want to show you that this is the bad side. And this is the bad side because these are showing my purl stitches. And if you've never done any kind of knitting before, these purl stitches go horizontally, whereas a knit stitch forms these vertical lines and kind of makes these V's that go down into these straight lines. So when you flip this over, you will notice when you do the color change, you will always have that line that is just going to happen in your knitting right now. But we're about to close up this circle using the very original tail. Thank you. Everybody in the chat is being so nice to me. I appreciate that. So we've gone through all of this, and then we are going to go to this is page 3 of the pattern, and this will be available to you under the YouTube video and also in the chat. We're going to use the original tail and create kind of a drawstring to close up that circle. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go through about every other one of these loops. So I'm going to go through maybe every other, every third. I don't have to go through every single one of them, but I'm just kind of going through a couple of them because what I'm doing is I'm collecting these stitches together like a drawstring, and I'm about to kind of tighten this, cinch this up together in order to close that circle off and make it look more like a solid circle for our flower. So this is me kind of taking the tail and going through several of these stitches. And then I'm just kind of haphazardly going through a stitch and pulling a knot. Remember that this is the bad side because it has this line in it and it has our purl stitches. But when I flip it over, you'll have this nice kind of bloom effect of like the center. I really like how this is kind of poofy because we have that extra yarn from pulling around the ring, and it's nice and closed up now. So once we have our 5 petals, we have the center, then this is the part where I'm going to have to use a little bit of movie magic because we don't have time to make another one of the petals full pillow pieces together. But I have already done this entire process one more time. So from here, you just go back to the beginning. You start with your slip knot in your different color, your gray. You chain 8, you make that loop. You pull a loop through and you do like that lark's head in order to create that cool center. So you're basically wrapping around the ring and then popping out 10 of those loops for you to kind of build off of. Once you have those 10, you switch colors, and we made 10 of the blue. Then we did our increase. Honestly, I think this is the trickiest part right here. So if you need to go back and look at anything, it might be this one. So increasing means that you're going to be pulling one up and you're going to be pushing one back within each one of those loops to kind of make like a little, it's kind of like a little bow is what it ends up looking like inside of that gray stitch. Once you have all 20 of those, then you go ahead and pull one through each 20 just to kind of solidify each one of those 20. We broke into 4 at a time to create our 5 different petals. And now that we've done all that and we've closed up our center, here's how you finish off your pillow. So I told you that this is the bad side, and I told you that this is the bad side. And we are going to put good side to good side together. And we're going to line these up, good side to good side. Bad sides are facing out. And we have lots of these extra tails, which is very, very helpful for sewing these 2 pieces of pillow together. Don't worry about things like this that are hanging out because they will be on the inside of your pillow and they will not show up. So when you are looking for tails, I want you to look for the tails that are in between your petals. So for example, there's one on my bottom piece and there's one on my top piece right here that line up. I'm going to make sure that the yarn is kind of going directly in the middle. And down here, I'm going to make sure that my yarn is going directly through the center. And I'm going to tie these 2 together with a pretty tight knot. Then I'm going to go to the next set of petals. And in between the next 2 petals, I'm going to look for a yarn on the top and on the bottom. Now, every single pair might not have a top and a bottom because when we first start our petal, we don't have an extra tail. So for this one, I'm just going to loop this yarn through a bottom loop. And I'm just kind of securing these center parts together. And I'm tying a knot. And then I'm moving around. And I'm going to the next part in between the petal. And in between the petal, this time there are 2 strings. I'm going to put this one a little bit more towards the center. And I'm going to put this one so that it's coming up a little more towards the center. And I'm going to tie these 2 together using a knot. So we're going around the flower and we're tying 5 knots in between each set of petals. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, see how this is a little off to the side? That's why I'm putting it through another stitch before I'm connecting it, because the part I want to connect is the part that comes closest to the gray. So I want that to be a nice, close, tight to really make the petals stand out. So that's why I'm kind of putting the yarns through something else in order to get me to line those up even nicer. I'm pulling it relatively tight, but the yarn can snap sometimes, so be careful. I have a couple more. So this one only has one because it was probably at one of my starters. So for this one, I'm going to come up through and I'm just going to go around and tie a knot as best I can. And I have tied 5 knots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at this point, this is the bad side. This is the bad side. I've tied it at all those points. At this point, I'm going to reverse my pillow and I'm going to make the good sides face outwards. So I've attached in those 5 places. You can see me trying to get this set up. There we go. And I have now reversed it. So this is the good side and this is the good side. And they are officially attached at each one of these points. But now you have these parts that are flopping around a bit. So since we have so many extra tails, which are really good, we're going to take these tails and I'm going to basically do a whip stitch to sew these together. So I'm lining up the 2 petals and I can kind of do my best to line 2 stitches up at a time. And I'm going to take my tail, one of the tails, I'm going to go through those 2. I'm going to find another 2 stitches. I'm going to go through those. I'm going to find another 2 stitches, go through those, another 2 stitches. And then here, you can leave this and we can tie it again at the end. Or if you don't want to lose track of it, you can kind of just pull it through any stitch and kind of tie a knot and be done with it. And then any extra tail, here, I'll do it that way. I'm just tying through any other loop to give myself a knot. So there, I've created kind of a knot. And then this extra tail, I can just go ahead and put inside of the pillow and just hide it in there. You're never going to see it. Then I'm going to take the other tail and I'm about to start sewing this side of the petal. So I'm going to do the same thing where I try and match up my stitches as best I can. And it really doesn't matter if you go this way or if you go towards yourself, that part doesn't really matter. But here are 2 stitches lined up, line up my next 2 and go through both of them. Line up the next 2 and go through both of them. And line up the next 2. And then this is what I was talking about before, where if you have some extra yarn down here, you might as well tie a knot with the other yarn that's sitting there. No harm in that. And then you can hide all those extra tails just by stuffing them inside. And then we do officially have one of our petals that's finished. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some polyfill. So I'm going to take some of this polyfill, about a handful of it, kind of fluff it out and put it into that petal to purposely kind of make that petal stand out. See my nice knit stitches show up. And then I'm going to move to the next petal and I'm going to take these tails and I'm going to sew again. And I'm just going to keep sewing. So somebody asked, can you just cut the tails off instead of like stuffing them into the pillow? And yes, you absolutely can. So I'm lining up stitches and I'm whip stitching this yarn through both of them. And I like it when I have an extra tail. So this is why I didn't cut them off, because I might still have one hanging out here that I can tie it onto. And it's nice to just have one already ready to tie instead of having to tie onto the pillow. So that's kind of why I wouldn't cut until the very end or until I know I'm for sure finished. But if you aren't cutting, you're just stuffing the tails towards the center. And they get hidden very easily because we have this great chunky yarn. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna keep going. These can be great presents. I think you can make them in all kinds of colors to match a bedroom or to match a living room. Good graduation gift, you know, that time of year. So now I'm gonna tie these together to make a knot. And because I've just finished this, so it says, I'm guessing if your guests actually lean on your pillows, they get messed up. You know what? I think they're sturdier than you think they are. So I don't know. I think they could hold their own. So I'm putting another handful of stuffing into this next petal. Now, if you have animals, they might get into it, but yeah, thanks, Felicia. So Felicia just posted in the chat that I really hope that if any of you are making a pillow, I would love, love, love to see what you're making and how it's going for you, or what colors you chose if you chose different colors. So I'd love to see your pillow, and you can share it with us using any of our hashtags, or you can tag Learn with Michaels and we can see what you're making. I'm going to keep going. As I keep going, I think I have 3 more petals to go. Feel free to ask any last minute questions. If you haven't already saved the PDF of the pattern, you might want to go ahead and do that now before the Zoom call closes. It will be available. This video will be available on our Michaels YouTube channel. As soon as we can get it to you, we will do that. And the pattern will be a link underneath that as well. But I hope that you had a really good time making this pillow today, and I hope that yours turns out really well also. Maybe play around with the colors. I'd love to see if someone does a solid color one without the changing color in the middle. I think the changing color is what makes it look like a flower, but if you made it all one color, I think it would definitely look like a star, and I could see that that would be a really fun pillow to make also. So another question in the chat asks, what ages are usually successful for kids to do this? So the blanket itself, and there is a video on our YouTube of how to make the blanket. The blanket itself, I think 8 and up can easily do. It depends on the kid, obviously, but if you have somebody who's really into crafts, they might be able to pick up this pattern, but it's definitely a little bit more difficult than some of the other pillows. So they might want to start with the heart pillow instead of starting with this flower pillow. And that heart pillow is available on YouTube. And Felicia, I think Ariana in the chat is asking about one of my other crochet classes. So I did have a crochet class where I taught everybody how to make granny squares. And then in a different crochet class, we learned how to attach those granny squares together in order to make a bag. So if you go to the Michaels YouTube channel, Ariana, you'll be able to see that class, and you can find that one pretty easily. But yeah, we make all kinds of things together. So Felicia and I like hanging out on Thursdays and Fridays and enjoying all different kinds of crafts. So coming up tomorrow, just to really change paces on you, we're going to be doing watercolor. So it's going to be like a watercolor art journaling class where it's really not about how good you are at watercoloring. It's really just about putting some color on paper and then maybe adding some words or adding some feelings or just kind of relaxing and having fun with watercolor. So we're doing that tomorrow. If you want to join us, you can still sign up. And I think I have one more petal after this one, and then we'll have our entire flower pillow finished. So together we made this in about an hour, but I only did the front piece. I didn't do the back piece with you. I did that on my own. So I think that in an hour and a half or in 2 hours, you should be able to get your whole pillow finished in about that amount of time. So it's a good project to get done in one day. Oh, thank you. So there's someone in the chat who's complimenting my teaching style. I was a teacher too. So I was a math teacher for the last 17 years before I started working with Michaels. So I taught high school and middle school math. And I really think that if you can teach an eighth grader how to do algebra, you can do anything. So that is my mantra and I'm sticking to it. I put a little bit more because we're at the end and I'm about to steam this all the way up. I'm going to stuff some into the middle also and kind of spread some more out to give it more poof. And if there's anything that's sticking out funny, I can just kind of rearrange my stitches. This is where I added my yarn when I changed colors. And you can just play around with it until you get it sitting the way you like. And then I'm going to take this last tail and go in this direction, matching up my stitches. And here we go. And if you have any gaps or anything that you don't like, you know what? This yarn is so forgiving. You can really just stitch over top of it and it just gets lost. Might close up any gaps that you might have. So an extra knot or even tying on an extra piece of yarn can help you with any gaps that you don't seem to like or that you think is messing up your pillow. And then I just have one more side. So before I finish up this last side, I'm going to put any last bit of stuffing in. I think you probably only need about a bag of the polyfill. So if you get a nice, this is an 8-ounce bag, you probably need about 4 of those 8 ounces, but you can put more or less depending on your taste. I might put a little bit more in. There we go, to pop that last petal. And then I'm just going to tie these last couple of stitches together by whipping around with this tail. So it's nice that we always kind of left a 6 to 8 inches of tail because then that gave us plenty of sewing yarn so that we can sew up all these edges. And I have this nice yarn right here that I can tie off. Nice knot. Push these last bits in. And Felicia, I think I'm ready for the front camera one more time to show you. Ha! Look what we did. So we made this really cool flower pillow. And you can just kind of keep, I like to sometimes push in the center and pull out the petals so that you can really get more of a flower feel from it. So you can kind of make your polyfill go in different directions, but I love the way this turned out. So with this pattern that I gave you, we made 5 petals, but you're more than welcome to adjust the pattern. And if you start with a circle of 12 instead of a circle of 10, you can end up with 6 petals instead of 5. So 6 petals might start looking less like a star and more like a flower. But I think that color change in the middle really helps this pop into the flower territory. And I am pretty proud of this, that we were able to get that done in an hour. So it was so fun crafting with all of you. Grab that PDF before you go. We'll try to get this video onto YouTube as soon as we possibly can. And thank you so much for coming. And I hope to see you again soon for another craft.